who we are about this, and we never do. So what we constantly do is we see a crisis and we send troops in with a mission. Then a new president comes in with a completely different idea of who America is, and everything changes. And who gets screwed? The troops get screwed. Our allies get screwed. The world kind of gets screwed again and again. President George W. Bush, after 9/11 and the shock and trauma after 9/11, basically came up with a huge, I think maybe a little bit over huge policy where we were going to spread democracy in the Middle East. It wasn't a senseless policy. The idea was if we spread democracy, terrorism won't take root, and all these terrible Wahhabi Islam versions of Islam won't get radicalized, and we won't be the villain anymore. And so now they'll have democracies over there. You know, in some ways, it came close to working. The Arab Spring was a tremendous upsurge and call for more freedom in the Middle East. George W. Bush almost pulled it off. What was the problem? The problem was he was gone. He didn't do it fast enough. He was gone. And a new president came in with an utterly different idea of what America should be. You know, they're comparing what Trump is doing, pulling out here, to what Obama did in pulling out of Iraq. And that may be a fair comparison tactically, but it's not a fair comparison philosophically, because the two men have utterly different visions of what America should be. What Obama saw in the future, because he always knew what the right side of history was, what Obama saw in the future was that we were just going to become another state in the world nation. He said it himself. It's not fair for one country to be ahead of everybody in the world, and we apologize because we've been arrogant and all this stuff. And so that's why he was pulling out. He was not pulling out for the same he was doing the same thing that Trump is doing, but not for the same reason. Trump has a different vision. Trump's vision is we live in a great big world of competing nations in which we are the best nation, and our responsibilities stop at our boundaries. The New York Times, a former newspaper, attacked him today, or kind of dug at him today, by saying that he'd rather use his troops on the American borders than in Syria. He would, and that's his philosophy. That's absolutely right. Most people don't know where Syria is. They don't know why we should be in Syria. He won't pay right now any political price for pulling out. The problem is the next time these guys rise up, and they will, the next time you turn on your TV or your phone or whatever you're looking at for your news, and you see guys dressed in black and masked beheading people who you're sympathetic toward, whether it's Yazidi women being sold into slavery, or some American guy who's over there for some reason who gets beheaded, when you start seeing that stuff, what are you going to do? The same people who are saying, yes, America first, are going to be saying, we've got to go in there and we've got to do something about this. And the same Democrats who said, what a wonderful guy Obama was, keeping his promise, pulling out, are going to say what a terrible guy Trump was, keeping his promise, pulling out. We don't know who we are on the world stage. Here's what I think. I am kind of an imperialist. I actually believe that America is a de facto empire that doesn't take the benefits of empire, which is control of the countries that we have to fight with and some kind of profit out of them. We don't do that, but we take on all the responsibilities of empire that are what bring empires down, which is the military responsibility to fight things out. To me, we're in there. We're stuck with it. We have an interest. Our interest is that if ISIS spreads again, and it's not just ISIS in Syria, they're still there, and Al-Qaeda is still there. Pardon me, if they spread again to take territory, they inspire and invite terrorists to act on their behalf. We remember people killing people saying, oh yes, I'm acting on behalf of ISIS. I believe the gay bar that got shut up in Florida, that's what he said, because they were inspired by this dream they have of an Islamic caliphate that seemed to be coming true. We have a responsibility to that. Do we have a responsibility to keep Iran back and to keep Russia from using its influence? Russia has a naval base over there, I believe, but they certainly want influence in that territory. Look, there's no walking away from history. There just isn't. I think Israel and Saudi Arabia